Hey everybody, Felix Staffelbaker here. Wanted to make a video about EOS being the most decentralized as far as governance structure goes. And what we're really seeing here is that none of these other blockchains are really catching up to the capabilities of EOS and the totally embodiment of decentralization that has become of the EOS blockchain since the trust in block 1 has waned substantially. And we really see that we have the EOS Network Foundation that was basically set up out of necessity back in, basically announced in August now, so several months, and we've really seen the progression of the block producers themselves agree to a lot of what's happening, and really just the network itself and the community itself facilitating, starting, and upkeeping this new foundation. There's no other blockchain that has done anything remotely close to this as far as actually coming from the community to organize and to become a centralized hub of information and communication and transparency and of all the things that we were expecting from block 1 can now come from these different arms. And the EOS Network Foundation isn't the only one. There's Helios and a couple of other things, Pomelo, and a couple other different aspects that really make up this decentralized governance that isn't rivaled by any other blockchain, not even close. The only thing that can even remotely compare is the Ethereum Foundation itself, simply because of the size, the network effect, the money involved, but EOS has community members involved who haven't already benefited from a pre-mine of the blockchain and had everything handed to them where they could dump on the community or anything like that. That hasn't happened with EOS, where all that happened with Ethereum Foundation, and Ethereum Foundation has total control. They can assign larger transaction fees, which they've already done. They can move transaction fees from the miners onto the users, which they've already done. They can raise transaction fees on users, which they've already done. And all of this without token holder permission, because Ethereum isn't set up to allow for somebody who has 10 Ethereum to be able to have a say. It's only the people with 50,000 Ethereum who got them before the chain launched and knew Vitalik and all this type of stuff that goes on when you have unregulated securities being traded, whereas EOS took a more decentralized approach, and now we're seeing all that paying off, where decentralization was the problem. It was so decentralized that there wasn't any coordination between hardly any entity that would allow for smooth operation into what we would consider the new economy and the new system. You had people in EOS wondering what block 1 was doing and not wanting to do this because potentially block 1 would do it, and all this type of stuff that it just created an extra friction that now isn't there. It also created a central hub to be able to communicate to the community, so even if block 1 is still bound by regulations or legalities or whatever the case may be, there can still be communication to the community and still be a clear path of where things are intended to go. So, I really see EOS as being the most decentralized blockchain, and Bitcoin has a lot going for it too. But that's going to obviously, in my opinion, if you've been here for a considerable amount of time, you understand. Like, I believe those will merge together and become one. So, Bitcoin is doing its own thing. It's obviously decentralized. It's just starting to come onto a layer 2 within the Bitcoin community itself. And, obviously there are patents and that relate to header solutions for Bitcoin to be able to scale onto the EOS blockchain and become the settlement layer and things like that. So, ton of good stuff coming ahead, and EOS being the most decentralized blockchain has really helped it, and I think spread it out amongst the most possible holders, maximum number of holders possible, and all that helps with decentralization as well. So just want to put that out there. Staffel Baker out.